Really? Oh, live on Twitch. There. Oh, I think we got it.
Yeah.
Do you want to put your fancy camera back on?
Easy saying right there. Save the day. Easy saying right there. Save the day. Like a zoo. Easy saying right there. Save the day.
Sounds like it.
Like a zoo.
I think, I bet it's something like every Google, those things like
They're all connected there. Well, you know what? Now that I thought about it, though, the reason that I was just found it up is I think I watched somebody like use Twitch to have like a live stream of something, a podcast or something. And I probably made an account to do that, You should say I got it, by the way, because it's like, and I just sat here looking as good as I could. Is this recording on Zoom too now?
Yeah. 2 viewers.
This is a chat.
All right, we're going to let's try to go from here. Oh my gosh, we're twitching because that's. All right, well, here we are. Okay, I got my microphone over here. So.
The audio video delay is going to screw with me.
Well, I put that on mute so we can't hear ourselves.
No, but it's like I'm watching myself 2 seconds ago itch my chin.
Yeah, that's true.
So is that to focus on looking at each other in the real time?
Yeah,
Try that. Has anyone verified that this is working?
I think BK did.
It does say that we've got 5 viewers.
5 viewers. Okay, I'm gonna log in and see what they can see. I promise we'll get started here soon, guys. We're just trying to make sure we got everything going.
This is working. I think BK did. It does say that.
Yeah. There's a little bit of a delay, but I guess that's good so that no one goes crazy. I'm going to log in to the Zoom so I can let people in from my phone.
And then they can communicate with us?
They will be able to communicate with us.
Exciting.
So hang tight, guys. We finally got it working.
I just realized, I noticed earlier when I looked that you had updated the spreadsheet.
I did. maybe I'll pop that up on here so I can see what we're supposed to be talking about.
Oh, yeah. I can guide you through it as well. As Nick says, I don't ever pay attention to outlines, but
I certainly don't. Well, the first thing once you're done doing whatever the heck it is you're doing. Ooh, can we look at that video while we're doing this?
oh yeah, we can do that.
'Cause that
Yeah,
one
that's probably better to do.
makes me feel a little more comfortable.
Yeah, and then and we can see if anyone jumps in the chat.
Yeah, it's win-win.
Yeah.
We're a little late starting, but Eric saved the day with his random accounts on random services. Yeah, I mean,
Recording in progress.
yikes, feedback. All right, guys. So, whoa. All right, so we're gonna go ahead and get started. How many people did it say were in there? If anyone cracks a joke about my pale, bare face, I will let them because there's nothing I can do about it. We can let them in to smack talk you. To berate my face. Yeah. I go to breakfast once a week at the same place, and my normal waitress was very much like, whoa, don't recognize you. Yeah. Where's your normal place? Little Brother in Windsor Heights. Little Brother in Windsor Heights. It's newish. Okay. We got 5 people watching. That's like Keokuk Kev. That is I was about to say, who do you know from Keokuk? No, that's BK. Kilcuck. That's BK. BK is in. They pronounce it Kilcuck there. Kilcuck. I don't know if I was supposed to say who he was, but that's who that is. All right, guys, we're going to go ahead and finally get started. So any one of you can join us at any point throughout the night. We obviously have no idea what we're doing because we are 33 minutes late at getting started, but hey, we're actually on. We're live. We've got an audience. That's right. But you should have an email with the Zoom info, and we can let you in, and you can smack talk as much as you want. Make fun of John's face, I guess. That's a little low-hanging fruit, guys. Let's try for something a little more fun. But yeah, so just please jump in whenever you want. If you want to text, you can either text me or you can just jump into the Zoom and it shows up as, hey, someone's waiting to get in. But I think first what we're gonna do is let John take it away with his playoff drink. That's right. So this start of the battle royale, there's the playoffs, there's the best of the rest. So I decided to do a cocktail 2 ways. So this week it's going to be martinis 2 ways. The first one that I'm going to make for Eric is my variation on what is called a Vesper martini. Any James Bond fans will know what that is. But my version's superior to the James Bond one, I think. So I'm going to go fill this up with ice real fast, and then we'll get started with that. All right, and I will entertain the crowd until then. We should have just gotten some ice and brought it over beforehand, but we were too busy trying to get this whole thing started. I'm actually really amazed that we got this started. I was ready to bail. We were both ready to bail. Here he is. He's back with some ice. There's no jump cuts in this one. No edits. If you remember with the podcast, we really appreciated it. It was fun to learn how to do that after with the iMovie app. Yeah. So yeah. All right. So now the thing that made the Vesper Martini famous in James Bond is that it was 3 parts gin, 1 part vodka, and then 1 part a specific kind of Lillet style vermouth that doesn't exist anymore. It doesn't exist? No, but we've got a fair approximation.
And so I stick by, as opposed to Ian Fleming, the writer of James Bond and James Bond himself, I prefer a 1-to-1 ratio with my martinis. So instead of 3 parts gin, 1 part vodka, it's 1 part vodka, 1 part gin, 1 part Lillet Blanc vermouth, and 1 part Kochi Americano vermouth. So
What is, maybe this is a stupid question, but what is vermouth? I
it's
never
like a
knew.
wine-based spirit.
Hmm.
So
All right.
it's, I don't know. Yeah, it's like pretty much designed as like an aperitif mixer, or sometimes drink on its own.
Oh,
So
okay.
there's like sweet varieties and dry varieties. And then like the Kochi Americana and the Lillet Blanc are kind of like a mix. They're kind of a drier variety, but they're sweeter than than like the Dolan, which I'll use for the second part. But yeah, have a look at that one while I'm doing this. So if anybody got any of these bottles and is following along, you can, I won't have the picture up here with the drink recipe, so you just have to listen to me. So to start for this Vesper Martini, I'm doing, let me look here. 3/4, that's right, 3/4 of an ounce of Kochi Americano. Now, if you don't have this, if you just have Lillet Blanc, for instance, you could just double that up. You don't have to mix the Lillet Blanc and the Kochi Americano. I just think it makes it a little more true to what that's the closest approximation to that specific vermouth that doesn't exist anymore, that we have as a mixture of these two. So
How did I miss what you said? Why didn't they make it anymore?
I don't know why they don't. There was a European vermouth that had like a quinine flavoring to it. It's just one of those things that fell by the wayside for whatever reason. So like I said, I do equal parts for my martini, so this is pretty easy. I said 3/4 of an ounce of the Kochi Americana, so it's also 3/4 of an ounce of the Lillet Blanc. 3/4 of an ounce of what I use is Hayman's dry gin. It's my favorite London dry. Now, the advantage of doing equal parts is that you don't have an insanely strong drink like most martinis are. As somebody who doesn't want to be on the floor after one drink, I've shifted towards cocktails that are a little more manageable.
All right, we got 7 of them in here. Peter says I'm in. Kev, hi. What's up, guys?
Now, we've got the equal parts of the gin, the vodka, the Lillet Blanc, and the Kochi Americana. Now we just stir. The vermouths are generally about half the alcohol content of normal spirits.
Oh, really?
That's why when you mix it, instead of 4 parts vodka or gin and 1 part vermouth, if you make it more 50-50, it's a lot less alcohol.
Yeah.
Yum, 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 yum. That's what I say. Now, the key to this particular martini, and really any Vesper martini, is using a lemon peel instead of an olive. A pre-chilled martini glass in my cooler.
He brought all of his own stuff.
Except for a mixing glass. I forgot my mixing glass.
Oh, yeah, right.
I was lucky that you
But
had it.
everything else you see on this table, he brought over to my house. So, oh, someone wants in.
Oh, let's say
Should
hello.
we see who it is?
I'm on the edge of my seat.
Oh, both Nick and Peter want in.
Oh, it's a race.
We're gonna let Peter in first. I think he had said something, but we're gonna let him in. Not exactly sure how this works.
We'll find out.
Peter's iPad.
I just expressed the oils.
He just left. Yeah, I let him in and then he left. So we're gonna let Nick in now.
Typical. And that is, gentlemen, a Vesper martini done John's way. I'm not gonna have a sip because I made this for Eric,
Oh, thank you.
and I'm very curious to see how Eric likes it.
Nick, are you there?
I am. Can you hear me okay? Oh my God, I'm on the Twitch. Holy shit.
Yeah. So you're
Should we have headphones?
yeah, we probably should have had headphones because it's a little bit of an echo, but yeah, I can hear you. Go ahead and talk.
Yeah, I mean the audio quality doesn't need to be great, right? I mean, this is flying by the
No.
seat of your pants.
Flying by the seat of our pants.
So how's the cocktail, EP?
That was my first drink. Ooh, that's good. I'm not much of a martini person. But that's like, I think what you said earlier is it's like less alcohol-y flavor.
Yeah.
Like the ones I've had in the past. I think
Like
it's just,
rubbing alcohol with
Yeah.
like a hint of oil
Yeah.
in there. Yeah.
this is almost like a diluted limoncello,
Oh,
which limoncello is really like too strong, too sugary, too much.
yeah.
This is, I like this.
It's elegant too. And we like elegant.
Mm-hmm.
You guys could probably mute your Zoom call since you're on the Twitch.
Well, see, it's delayed a lot, so we hear it gets feedback.
Anyway, then I'll ask my question. Fuck, marry, kill the entire league. So you guys pick 3 and you can't pick, the 2 of you. So each of you get to go. Fuck, marry, kill. The whole league is your oyster. So
And we can't pick each other.
correct.
I'm gonna go get some more ice to make the second martini. I'll let you answer it first.
I feel like I have to say, well, okay. For kill, oh, did Nick just leave? Nick just left? I guess he just wanted to ask us the question and leave. Peter is in the waiting room. Peter will get to you. We're gonna answer Nick's question. Fuck, marry, kill anyone in the league. I feel like I'm gonna say, because of the last week, I want to kill Creed because he just kicked me out of the playoffs. Maybe that's a little recency bias. Mary, I'm gonna say BK.
Oh, how sweet.
Yeah, he's just a sweet teddy bear. You want to start answering any? I got to think long and hard about the last one. This is not.
Like, what's the, oh, yes. So
I'll say,
all right.
well, I'll say Mark because I'm not sure he exists.
That's a good one. He could be a figment of everyone's imagination at this point.
Yep.
So I'll also start with kill, and also for obvious shaven reasons, I'm going to say Casey.
Casey. Yeah. Yeah, that's understandable.
I'm sick and tired of this dumb mustache match thing. I don't know how I got in the losing end so many weeks. There's so many.
How
years in a
much? How
row.
much did you lose by?
30 points. It's not
30.
too bad.
Last year was like 75 or something.
Yeah. No, I lost by 20. 20 this year. But yeah, last year it was like I was shaving into the new year.
Yeah, that was fun.
Ugh,
That was fun.
that was rough. Mary. That's a tough one. Oh man, I might go with Nick. I think I'll marry Nick.
Hmm.
I've known him a long time, and he's good with money. He's good at managing
that's-
money. So
That's a
it's a long-term
Yeah,
security
yeah.
thing.
You gotta. Yep. And then what's your last one?
Who would I fuck?
Oh, that's a good question. It's a good question to start off with, Nick.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I gotta say, Phil seems to be the most generous lover of everyone. I think
Yeah.
he has that attitude.
Yeah.
so.
We're gonna let Peter in here. All right, Peter, are you with us? Are you there, Peter? His audio is still connecting. Peter, can you hear us?
Oh, I'm back. I made
Oh,
it.
I'm back, he says.
Long time, first time.
Thank you. That was difficult, but fun.
Can you
There's some
ask your
people in
question,
the
Peter?
Twitch count too.
Mute the Twitch on the home screen of Twitch instead of on the computer.
Mhm. Okay, Peter, what do you got?
Oh, for a question?
Peter,
Hello? Hello? Can you hear me?
cannot hear you.
I mean,
Here, we'll put you on this. Okay, try again. What do you got, Peter?
Can you hear me? Check.
Yeah, barely. What's up?
Sound check. Am I asking a question?
Yeah, you're asking a question. Go for it.
I actually don't know if I have a question.
All right, I'm gonna kick you off your seat.
Eric, how
Yeah.
do you feel about your trade basically setting the bar for the rest of the league and basically creating the dumpster fire that now is the playoffs, where looks like there's only one team in the playoffs that didn't trade like a first, second, or third round
Yep.
and basically had to sell off in order to get in.
Yeah. Yeah. Good question there, Peter. I'll address that. I feel pretty bad about my trade, gotta say. Basically everything that could go wrong did go wrong this year. The first big trade I did, both the players got hurt. Like I said in the podcast, both players got hurt within the first week. And then I decided to play the guy last week, and he's the only reason I lost. If I would have sat the one player I was trading, the quarterback I was trading for, and just gone with the guy I had, I would have won. So that it might go down. I don't know official stats or anything, but that could go down as the worst trade in Liquored Up history, even considering Mark and Creed's last year, that I'm sure Nick has very strong opinions about. But I'm gonna say mine is worse. Don't worry about it.
I have a follow-up question.
That's what I got for you, Peter.
I have
Yeah.
a follow-up question if you got it.
You got a follow-up question?
Yeah. Are you scared? I mean, potentially you do have the ability to win best of the rest. A good
Potentially.
possibility,
That's his goal.
which is
Yeah, I
basically,
mean, I want a bottle.
that is actually, all the power to you. But let's just say you don't get it, and then next year you don't have any trades. So you're basically just trying to pick up some players.
Yeah,
And if you get lucky, you might be able to make 2024 work. But if you don't, there's a possibility that your trade this year basically ruins 3 seasons of Liquored Up. Do you follow
Right.
me?
oh, two seasons. But yes, I'm
3.
gonna I'm gonna cut you off and I will address that. So his question was,
Yeah, I didn't hear any of it.
his question, well, it's hard to hear. I gotta put it to my ear. His question was basically, how do I feel about basically ruining 3 seasons of Flickered Up, which I don't think it'd be 3 seasons. I think it'd be 2. But also that's what we thought. We thought Creed wasn't gonna be good this year because he
I hear
had
what
to,
you're
had to
saying,
lose
yeah.
lose a first rounder after the draft, and he managed to pull something off. So
Well, and like, Alex, we all thought was gonna be really bad this year because he had no draft picks. And then,
he's bad.
oh, yeah,
He's bad.
Yeah, he's really bad.
We were right about that.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I was willing to take that risk. It didn't pay off. We'll try again next year.
You win some, you lose
I'll
some.
try to win the best of the rest this year and maybe next year, and then come back for the championship the year after. But okay.
I should say real quick, if nobody minds, that me cutting in here, that my martini number 2, my second way martini, is a more traditional gin martini with Dolan dry vermouth. I just did 1.5 ounces gin and 1/2 ounce of vermouth, So it's not quite a 50-50. I went a little more traditional just because for the sake of the podcast, people might want to know a more traditional way to make a martini. It's not my preferred method, but it shouldn't be too bad with some olives in there.
Okay, so we got a text in question from Alex. He says, question, the Sun Belt should be our permanent third league. Do you agree, or are you a communist?
Well, I am a well-known communist, but I don't know. Is the Sun Belt that fun, really? What about MAC? Everyone's talking about MAC shit. How come we don't just put the MAC in as our permanent conference?
I don't know. I mean, that feels like a conversation for the podcast with BK and Nick. I don't know. I guess I'm pretty apathetic to the third league. Whoever the third is, it's fine.
Yeah,
You just go with whatever.
I do think that the lack of consistent players like this in season shows that maybe a strong third conference is needed, but
Yeah.
or
Well-
some sort of weird like lottery system for some of the bigger teams and other conferences, like SEC teams and stuff that can pop in every couple of years randomly. I don't know.
Yeah. I don't know.
I mean, I guess things will change with the Big Ten expanding, maybe.
Yeah, with that'll be interesting. But I guess to answer Alex's question, I guess I'm a partial communist for not really caring if the Sun Belt is a permanent third or not.
Interesting story, by the way. Jesus was a communist. Okay.
Well, in some ways, yes.
Just joking.
What is the right number of teams for the player pool? Nick says, you know what?
See, I don't know if there is necessarily an exact number at this point. I think that's something we'd have to like zone in on eventually.
And I feel like we don't need to overreact. This felt like a unusually down year. Like we're normally just fine.
That's true. That's true.
It's 1 year. We'll try again next year.
That's a good point. I can see that. It's just the third conference this year just seemed really bad. There just wasn't like a lot of strength on it.
Yeah, there was. I feel like there were a lot of injuries at the
That's
top
true.
too.
Jake Hader should have started him last week. I wouldn't. I'd still have my mustache if I'd started him.
Okay, so BK revealed the bottles this year. Okay, BK is in the waiting room.
Speaking of,
BK is in the waiting room, so that's pretty good timing. We're gonna let him in. Really wish there was a better way to hear, but
I thought about bringing headphones, and I thought, if we need them, Eric will have them.
yeah, but I don't even know what I'm plugging into to get that.
You could plug into your phone. Probably doesn't even have a headphone jack, does it?
No, yeah, but then we'd both need it. Okay, BK, you there? Can you hear us, BK? Are you there, BK?
You know what, BK?
You guys hear me?
Yeah, we can now.
Oh, wow. Okay. It's a little weird when you join the call the first time because you hear both. All right.
Both what? Yourself and us?
Well, you hear the Zoom call on Twitch as well.
Okay.
I'm gonna do a hang up and listen for my first question. I might have more later tonight. Nick is a strong proponent of expansion. I am the opposite. I think we should have less people. So let's get it back to the roots. 10 teams. Who you kicking out? 2 teams. Who you kicking out? I'll hang up and listen.
Of course. Throw that bomb in there and take off.
It's kind of like the first question. I mean, there's no right answer, right? You can't win.
It's easy to say, like, look, I know Mark is OG. We all love Mark. He's not, seems like he hasn't drafted his own team in 4 seasons?
Yeah.
So
Not super engaged.
no, but I also adore Mark.
Yeah.
And what little he shows up for in the league is always entertaining. But I suppose if you had to kick two people, right? There's 12 in the league right now.
There's 13 in the league, but 12 teams. But I think you'd kick Philbrook said he said teams, not not.
So
like
I think Mark would have to be close to the top, just for lack of participation. Even though I adore the guy.
I think I'm gonna not answer and say that we should expand. I'm for expansion, and I don't think I'm not going to play BK's game.
Oh,
Oh, some questions in the chat. Nick says Twitch chat. That is okay. So people are put. If you could try to put them in the G chat, that'd be great, guys.
I was gonna say, can you like go to your?
I have to move up closer. So don't put them in the Twitch chat, please. Put them in the G chat or join the call.
Holy cow! Fortnite, what's that? By the way, I am also against expansion.
Des Moines Dave says, why does Nick still have so much power after he was overthrown? And Peter says, how do you order a martini at a bar without looking snooty?
How do you order a martini at a bar without looking snooty? The key is to have the right amount of confidence, but not like in a shitty judgmental way. So just like a real basic, like, oh, could I get a Stoli martini with a lemon twist, please? Thanks. Just like real quick, off the tongue. You're specific, like you know what you like. Bartender knows how to make it, but you're not asking in like a what kind of what's your top shelf vodka you have here? Do you happen to have this kind of vermouth? Like you just kind of accept that the bartender will make it the right way once you get some of the specifics down.
All right. And so the question, Des Moines Dave says, why does Nick still have so much power after he was overthrown?
Oh, Des Moines Dave. If only we knew.
That's a good question, but the good news is he didn't have enough power this year. He could have I guess had more. Well, I mean, he had a choice to keep that running back in at tight end, and he didn't. But I guess we pressured him enough to fold under to his absolute power. So
I mean, it's more influence he has than power, I feel like. His team, he's a long-standing charter member with a lot of success, former commissioner, those kind of people. Their shadow looms large.
Yes, it does. Okay, so I don't think we have any other questions unaddressed. If we do, send them in the G chat or just join the Zoom. But I was going to talk about the bottles that BK revealed, and I like that we had your input in that.
Yeah, that was fun.
Okay, so if you want to know all the ones that were chosen, you can check the email. It's been said. Is there one of those? Can you remember off the top of your head that you think is the best one? Because I went and looked at the prices of each of them, and
they're very similar,
about the same. They're $40 to $50.
I could say I think the highest quality one is the 12-year Scotch, the Balvenie Doublewood.
I've got one of those under that shelf over there. It's almost empty. That's a good one.
It's a really good Scotch that's not like break your bank expensive.
So I went to the Distiller app and went look at some ratings. So that one got a 3.9 community rating.
Seems low in my opinion, but
there was another 3.9. The Ransom Old Tom Gin got the highest community rating and the highest expert rating. Expert rating was 95.
It's really good gin.
Yeah. So that might be one that people go for the championship. I also think the High West American Prairie limited edition, I couldn't even find that. So the limited edition part, I'm kind of like, I don't know what to expect for that, but I couldn't find that online.
High West makes good whiskey. I've had their rye before. I think they have like a double rye that's really interesting. So
I like that we went hard whiskey like three of them are whiskey, I think.
Yeah.
Scotch, whiskey.
I didn't have
whiskey.
I know for my point of view, I didn't have, like vodka, even the nicest, like I just use Stoli, like that's good normal price vodka. It's about as, I don't think you need to do anything more than that.
Yeah.
I recommended a couple of brandies, but I'm not sure if we're all a very big brandy crowd. So
brandy is another one of those interesting ones that I'm not really sure about. So okay, we got to get into like the playoffs and the best of the rest.
Playoffs.
Yeah. Yeah, I guess that's part of this discussion because we're just starting that this weekend. This is for
That's right. That's what the
I think-
martinis are for.
right. Oh, we've got what 7 viewers here still. Glad to have you guys on here. Okay. So first of all, last week was absolute chaos. For me at least. You were probably just sitting pretty,
I mean, I
sipping
knew
your martini,
yeah.
relaxing, and
I was really I was in one of those positions where like you don't have to win, but it almost like makes you kind of like pick around your roster more.
but you also got relegated, which is interesting.
2 years in a row I've been relegated. And last year I deserved it. But
This
yeah.
year you did not. We're losing another. I got 6 in there. Okay.
good.
That's all right.
We don't need them.
They're the 6 that we like. Okay, so if you remember, we're going in the playoffs. The playoffs seeding: John, Nick, Casey, Jamie, Peter, Creed. That's the in order of the seeds.
First to last seed.
First round for best of the rest and playoffs is a battle royale. Best 4 make it.
I love that.
Okay.
I think that's a really great addition
I think, yeah. Well, it's been like that.
for a few years. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. I wouldn't call it an addition, but
Okay.
um,
But the last time I had any significance in the playoffs, I don't think it existed. So for me, it seems very quaint.
if we had the league historian here, he could tell us the last time you were in the playoffs, was it a battle royale?
Might have been.
Okay. So how you feeling? How you feeling? Who you think's gonna move on to the next round? Like what are the top 4 scores?
Oh,
I mean, it's
I think it's
can be kind of
Casey's a shoe
crapshoot.
in.
I think Casey's.
I do. He just, I didn't play him until last week for the first time all year, and everyone, he kept like getting the top of these power rankings, even though the record
Yeah.
wasn't the best. And then I look at his lineup on Saturday night, and it's like, and look at his point score, and it's like, dude's got a good team. Like this is
Yeah.
really impressive.
Yeah.
So I think he's golden. I want to say me, but I'm nervous. So maybe that's just playoff butterflies.
Yeah.
I am first seed, so I should get one of the top 4s.
Creed's the lowest seed, but I just think he always finds a way. Like I think
He might be the upset king here going through. This could go down as one of the greatest liquored up seasons ever if he can sell off and
Yeah.
then win a championship. Like that might.
he had a couple starts last week. Like he started is it Donovan Edwards, the second running back for Michigan,
Oh yeah,
who put up like 30 or something. And then he put up the quarterback for Kansas. He had both quarterbacks for Kansas. Jalen Daniels
who
was
my-
coming back.
Yeah,
They said he was going to come back and play. He wasn't going to start, but he was going to play. And he still played the starting quarterback. No, I'm sure knowing.
Jason Bean or whatever.
Yeah, I can't remember what it. Yeah,
Something Bean, I think.
no, I assume knowing that
Daniels was
Daniels was
available.
still going to be playing, and the guy put up. I think that guy put up like 30. He only had like 3 players put
Yeah.
up significant points. Otherwise, they were all below 10. And then all my like every one of my players was like 10 points. Like they all did like
Okay.
yeah, okay. No one
Like-
did terrible. No one did good. And he just had like he had strategic quarterback, flex, and I think he had a wide receiver. It was in the Colorado State game. I think the wide receiver caught a touchdown right away to win it. And he just picked the right players. He didn't necessarily have a great team, but he picked the right players at the
I
right
mean,
time.
that's what he does. That's what everyone needs to do. Like if I would have, I chose to sit my Colorado State receiver instead of my Ohio State receiver, and that cost me like 20 points or something crazy. Like it's
Mhm. So we got Nick divisional winner, Casey divisional winner, and Creed divisional winner, and you being relegated, and Creed being a defending champ. That's what the playoffs look like.
The playoffs are bonkers.
Mhm.
Nick's probably gonna advance too. I hate to say it. I don't know why I hate to say it. I have nothing against Nick.
No, I mean, but just like what someone said in the chat over there, that of someone of why is Nick still have so much power?
Relevance, baby.
Oh, Nick says in the waiting room. Sorry about that. I didn't see anyone in the waiting room, Nick. I will let Nick in. Nick's joining us here. All right.
Nick, you're with us.
All right, gentlemen, I appreciate all the different comments. And after John mentioned that, he liked the change of the Battle Royale, which while it is now a few years old, I was going to say, what changes to the league over the years have you most enjoyed? And what would you add outside of freaking players get DST points? For the years going forward here, like what would you propose for next year? So I'll hang up and listen.
I would like to say that I am not proposing players get points for DST. I'm proposing that a kicker gets points. I mean, it's already a position. He gets points when he kicks a field goal.
Okay.
He loses points if he misses a field goal. If it was a bad snap and he picked the ball up and then fumbled it, would he have lost points for fumbling the ball? Probably.
I don't think so.
Well, we won't know for sure. But
my question to you is why are you pro kicker getting a touchdown pass points, but not wide receiver getting a touchdown punt return?
Because
that doesn't make sense to me.
Kicker's already a position. You can start a kicker on your team. You can't start a return specialist on your team. That is part of defensive special teams as far as
but it's still the player doing it, just like your argument.
Yeah, but
your argument is that the kicker did the thing.
But my argument is he did the thing, and he also is already an individual on a lineup, scoring points and losing points on the lineup as an individual.
But say
some receivers do but also some return men are like defensive players who also have any return men. Like
okay, but like say I have, is it Aaron Cruikshank from Maryland, the wide receiver who's also the return specialist? You could strategically, I mean, like he has more value as a wide receiver, knowing he's gonna be a great punt returner.
That's true, but I think it would be more fun to just add like punt returner or kick returner as like a flex position you could use.
I don't think it happens enough for that to matter.
No, it doesn't, but then I would understand kick returners getting touchdowns.
Yeah. Anyway, we're getting away from his question.
Yes, that's true.
But I'm gonna again
pound that drum.
Well, he said I can't answer that. I'm going to for now. The change I think I really liked is the divisions.
Yeah,
top shelf.
I like it, and I think it's fun that like much like this year and 2 years ago for me, you can, for instance, this year be one of the best or the best ranked team in the league and lose your division.
I love that.
Or love that 2 years ago, I was one of the worst teams, but I won a bottle because I just beat 3 guys to win division.
Yeah, that's pretty good. I like that addition. I'm trying to think of what other additions really stand out to me. Does anything else stand out to you?
I can't think of anything off the top of my head. What a boring league.
Is there? Yeah, a boring league. So my other league is trying to vote to outlaw draft pick trading, and that would never. I'm just like, everyone hates it, and so these two leagues are so different.
Yeah, that's
in
weird.
That we are chaos. We have like anyway, and they want to like make it more tame. What would you change then if it wasn't they can't answer the.
Oh, I did forget one thing.
Yeah,
the that cocktail matchup video every week is a pretty great addition to the league.
That is a great addition. Nick, I kind of want to know what your answer is. So I wish you wouldn't have hung out.
5-man, 1 rock, 5-man rock, 1 roll. Let's get those calls in, folks.
Yeah. Call 281-330-8004. No, don't do that. That's fine. Is that even the right number?
But I am trying to think of things heading forward we could do. I don't know.
I don't know. I mean, I'm pretty good with where the league's at, other than, of course, I'm going to keep beating the drum of of kick returns and punt returners.
And kickers.
I do like that 90% of the league doesn't make the playoffs anymore. That was a good change. What did we just we reduced it down? Nick would know again. He left, but he would know the details of that. But it used to be 12 teams in the league and 10 of them made the playoffs. Something
That was
stupid like that.
Glory days. I mean, awful days.
Yeah.
I actually agree. I think 2A playoffs is absurd.
Is there any more questions in here? Those who write the history control the history, says BK. Head over to Buddy's.
No, that was for the martini. Nick's coming back in to answer his question.
Muscatine Mitch.
I'm enjoying these funny.
All right,
Names.
gentlemen,
Iowa
what is it
names.
that you wanted to know?
What's that, Nick?
What is it that you wanted to know?
We wanted to know your answers to the question.
Yeah, I mean, so my favorite change, I think, has got to be the divisions. I think it's cool. While it's not named necessarily the best, it seems like the top shelf is maybe underperformed, whereas the well sometimes seems like the stacked division.
It's year to year.
Yeah, but I really like that change, especially because the people that is important to play against, as John alluded to, changes every year. So it can maybe create some little rivalries, here or there. But as to what I would change going forward, I think the one that's been going around that I'm really excited to maybe workshop is everybody, we've talked about the player pool, like everybody gets to pick like 2 teams that they want. So like get rid of the Big 10, get rid of the Big 12 for a year. And whether it's 2 or 3 teams or however many teams we want to have in the player pool, I could be like, you know what? I'm really excited about Buffalo, USC, and Charlotte. And then boom, they're in the player pool. So that's something that I would think would be a cool, a 1-year experiment and see how it goes for sure.
So are you saying like sorry, I got to mute us for real quick while I talk. Are you saying that the 3rd division would just be a collection of teams that we all pick from, or there would be a 3rd division and then everyone would kind of pick their team that they are high on?
Well, so obviously the specifics haven't really come out, right? I think the original proposal was for no divisions at all, like not even Big 10, Big 12. And just say like we want to have 48 teams, so everybody gets to pick 4, or you could do Big 10, Big 12 like always, and then we say, hey, we want 20 more teams or 16 more teams or however you want to do it. I mean, I guess maybe you reward the higher performers and they get to pick 2 teams, and the best of the rest gets to pick 1 team or something. But a lot of different ideas around there.
Yeah, I like that. I think that's a cool idea.
I do agree with something that Creed said in the chat. I think you got to keep Big 10, Big 12. It's just I like the baseline. I like the tradition.
Yeah,
but the idea of making the 3rd conference like a sort
collection
of
of
like a lottery, pull out of a hat type thing.
I mean, we could all select 1 team.
That's true, and
then you get 12 extra teams. That's a
Yeah,
conference.
That's a good point. And then maybe you can't pick the same team twice in a row, like 2 years in a row, so that like one person's not just like Alabama every year.
Yeah, we're gonna have people who select Alabama, and then you're gonna have people who select like
Western Kentucky.
Yeah, that it'll bring out like our personality of like what type of team we go after.
You could even
we got
do
the comment from
like
Creed. Nick, did you have something to say?
Yeah, I was going to say, people have been asking for a while to be able to do the independents, where that could be something where you do Big 10, Big 12, the 4 independents, and then we each get to pick a team or something.
Yeah. I like that. I like that idea. Yeah, that's a good one. Notre Dame would be a fun one to have. Was it BYU, Notre Dame, or not BYU? Who are the independents?
It used to be BYU.
Is Navy in there?
No.
Liberty is one.
They're playing. We got Nate.
No, we have Army.
We have Army. Who are they, Nick?
Liberty. Hugh Freeze, man.
Hugh Free, Liberty, blah.
Okay. Well, I want to request Creed to join the show if he can, because I had sent him some questions, how he felt about our matchup last week, but also being the team that no one expected to make it the playoffs and then ended up making it.
UMass, UConn, Liberty, and Army. Army's not.
Army's not.
Yeah, we have Army in our.
And Notre
I
Dame.
have Army's kicker. Or we have Air Force's kicker. Maybe it's Air Force we have in our team. Yeah, that's what it is. Air Force is on our.
Yeah, you're right. It's Air Force, not Army.
Yeah, well,
Oh, no, and then okay, whatever. Creed's typing right now. I hope he kind of joins. We also requested Alex to come join us too.
we did.
I did beforehand. I sent some
Some
messages.
feelers out.
Do I have to mute Twitch if I sign on to Zoom?
Maybe.
I think so. We haven't been on your end of it, but it sounded like BK said yes. I think he was here in double.
Sounds like
but
he's
if-
about to tell you.
Yeah, he is.
Oh, maybe not. Well, anyway.
Anyway, in the meantime, what did he just say? Yes, BK says. Okay. So if Creed decides to join us, I will include him in here. So out of the teams in the playoffs, who are you picking to win it? If you can't pick yourself,
Casey.
Casey.
I'm going chalk, saying Casey. I'd have to look at the players again though, because we are getting up to that time of the year where even your like best performers might go up against tough conference foes
Yeah.
and stuff at the end of the year. So it's hard to say, but it just seems like he's steadily put up insane points every week. Like
Yeah.
he's gotten unlucky a few times. I just feel like eventually it's got to break right for him. Right?
Yeah, he should have been like undefeated this year, but it felt like he was. I mean, he had a chance of missing the playoffs.
Yeah.
I'm gonna say. Well, since I can pick you, I'm gonna pick you.
Oh,
Since
shucks.
I
don't need another bottle of Balvenie. I'll have to pick something else, but
well, I kind of hope that falls down to the champ of the best of the rest because I really like that bottle. Okay, it doesn't look like anyone else is gonna join us here, at least right now. Let's move on.
I'm trying to think of best of the rest. Who can win that?
Best of the rest. Okay, here we go. Seated in order. Mark, Phil Brooks, me, Pat, Brian, who got relegated, and Alex, who is the reigning best of the rest champ.
Oof.
So the last
Alex is
seed.
not gonna win best. of the rest.
Alex.
It's just not gonna happen.
Yep.
And I don't think it's gonna happen for Brian either. I think he could probably count BK out. So that leaves the other guys.
Here's Creed. We're gonna let Creed join us.
Sure. Maybe he has some opinions on the best of the rest.
Is it working? You there, Creed?
Hey, why does Peter say fuck me?
You there? Oh, he still says he's joining. So
We'll give him a chance.
okay. So while we wait for Creed's computer to Creed's joining on another device.
Oh boy, exciting.
We'll see if one of these devices can work for Creed. All right, Creed, you there?
Yep. Can you hear me?
We can.
How's it going?
Good. How are you?
Can't complain.
Doing good. Saw you wanted me to call in. I didn't actually look at the questions. So what were you?
I was just curious how you were feeling about our matchup last week, because I texted you halfway through and you were like some gif about being dead already.
Oh, just throw me in the trash when I'm dead.
But also being the the team that kind of went all in last year and still made the playoffs this year. I want to hear just your thoughts all around.
I mean, this year was definitely, I would say, a surprise that I made it back to the playoffs. After I think I lost to Alex, I was definitely just throwing away the season. And that's when I traded my receiver to John and made a trade with Casey as well, and was kind of just ready to go. But after I had all those spaces, it definitely made me look a little bit harder on the waiver wire and stuff and try to find some possibly overlooked players. And luckily some of those worked out.
That was like the most coach answer I've ever heard.
It was just, he's not giving away anything. He's not giving away his secrets or anything. Nick texts in and says, Creed, how do you like that Tripine hoodie?
I'm a big fan of it. It's super nice and warm. So I have a couple of them. I have like one that's better for the summer, but yeah, so far they're really nice. Yeah.
Is that a kinship hat?
Cast Blast disc golf.
Oh, okay. And just because I'm curious, and John and I were talking about him shaving every day. When was the last time you shaved?
Completely clean shaven.
Yeah.
I don't know, probably 4 years ago, 5 years ago, something like that.
Okay.
It's been a while. I keep trying to get into the 4th of July shaving, but there is some opposition from the girlfriend.
Oh, okay. So BK wants to know how you feel about the trade that went down last year.
Oh,
I mean, two people that made a trade. I mean, if Nick would have been involved in it, he probably would have reversed it. But I mean, we all don't get second chances. So once people agree, what else can you do?
well put.
Two consenting adults. I mean,
I wasn't going to say that after the fuck, marry, kill earlier in the show, but
I think it was Pat who originally said that in a podcast.
that it was two consenting adults.
Yeah. I mean, I agree with him. It was a really lopsided trade, but Mark agreed to it. So what can you do?
I mean, Alex gave up a first round for Dylan Gabriel today or this year and got last place. So
Really?
yeah.
Yikes.
If I remember right, he didn't even play him the first 3 weeks that he had him.
I don't think I realized that.
What a move.
Why didn't we talk about that on the podcast yet?
I don't know. It kind of went under the radar because I think he was hurt at the time. And it was when there was about 3 or 4 trades a day.
Huh. Okay. Yeah, I missed that one. Is there another question on the Twitch?
Peter wants to know how I sleep at night.
It's Creedhead media training is what BK says. The question was, how do you sleep at night? That's for you, Creed. How do you sleep at night?
I take meds, but otherwise pretty well.
Medicated.
So how are you feeling about your chances in the playoffs? Because you're the low seed.
I really think it's going to be something that I'm going to have some players hit like last week. But I honestly think the over-under to get in is probably going to be somewhere right around 100, 110 points. So if you can get over that, I would say you have a decent chance of getting into the top 4. But I mean, you look at my last 2 weeks, I think I was under 70 2 weeks ago and then 110 this week. So just one of those things. I have to have a few people go off and hopefully pick the right Kansas quarterback again.
That was going to be my next question. How did you pick your Kansas quarterback last week?
I basically just went with him because he's the starter. I'm like, if Kansas gets in the lead, they're not going to put in a guy that's coming back from an injury. You should give him another week. So I'm like, put the starter in there and hope that they got off to a lead and were able to keep him in.
Yeah, that was a bold move because I was seeing that start it. You start that guy, and I was like, oh, maybe he doesn't know that Jalen Daniels is back. Nick wants to point out that Pat could have the number 1 and number 2 overall picks if he plays it right.
Wow.
Because he Alex could get last, and then he could get second to last.
A lot of pressure if that happens.
Wow. That could really end. We talked on the podcast last time about how Pat has had such a bad record in the player in general. He's just he's pretty bad
Hasn't had a bottle
historically.
in a while.
Yeah,
Neither have I. for
that could
matter.
next year could really be Pat's year.
I think there's a way I could get 4 picks in a row at the end of the first round.
Say that again.
I could get 3 picks in a row at the end of the first round on the turn. Because I have Casey's first round pick and then John's second round pick. Or no, I could have like 3 out of 4 or 4 out of 5 or something like that.
Okay. All right. There's going to be some strong teams next year.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, Creed, do you got anything else you want to add while you're on here?
No, I think I'm good. Hopefully I can keep the season going and try to just break all y'all's hearts another year by repeating.
What bottle would you choose if you won the championship?
I'm hearing a lot of good things about that 12 year. I think that's the one I would be going for. I'm more of a whiskey fan, so I'd probably stay away from the gin. But
I might go pour myself a little shot of that. Do you want some? That Balvenie?
Sure.
Okay.
I won't say
Um,
no.
okay. Have a good night, guys.
All right. We'll see you, Creed.
I'm curious if anybody made any martinis tonight.
Nick says nobody has ever repeated as champ. So
Something to look for.
he is trying to do that. Okay. So now we're going to move into the last conversation that I had on our outline,
Oh boy.
which was the best of the rest. So there's the list of the best of the rest while I go pour us a little bit of Balvenie.
Man. I have to admit, some of these teams like Mark, I barely paid attention to his team. I knew he was there. It's just like, his team wasn't making waves, wasn't shocking anyone. Yeah, I don't see the Alex and Brian are not going anywhere. And no, thank you. And Pat would shock me, honestly. But I don't know. He does really want that. Wait and see if it shows up. The 2 different casks is what gives it its flavor.
It's not very much. So
Well, I appreciate you sharing.
we're going to finish it off.
There you go.
Finishing off. I guess I need another one.
Yeah, there you go. It's perfect timing. Did you
I
get
don't-
that at the wall to wall?
I don't know. I think Carly got that for me for Father's Day,
Oh.
maybe my first Father's Day. It's been a while.
Smart move.
I'm just I prefer Scotch over bourbon.
I like everything, but
Okay, so we're gonna move on to best of the rest. Anyone want to make a comment about best of the rest? Feel free to jump in. Nick's got a text. Have John tell us about the Few whiskey. Where does it stack up since I was eyeing it? He did make some comments in BK's email.
yeah, I was very vague though. It's
Uh,
good. I
the-
mean, I get the Few rye. It's my favorite rye whiskey. I think it's a small batch.
Made in Illinois. It's
Yeah.
great. You said wonderful.
And then the Few American whiskey, which I think is more of like a standard, like a Jack Daniel's type whiskey or whatever. I have had it before and I like it a lot. It's I'm trying to think. It can be drank neat, but I don't drink whiskeys neat unless they're like a really nice Scotch or a Japanese whiskey, or there are a couple types of Irish whiskeys I've had that are aged really well.
Is this one you drink straight?
Oh yeah.
Okay.
Pretty much any scotch. I don't. The only scotches I put into a cocktail are like blended, like Cutty Sark or one of those like basic bottles that you can buy.
Hmm.
Stuff like this, I always drink neat.
Okay, thanks for the question, Nick. Best of the rest. Mark is the top seed. Phil Brooks, myself, Pat, Brian, who's relegated, and Alex, who's the reigning champ.
I can't believe Mark's a top seed, but I
Well, if you remember,
just didn't
Mark-
think he was that good of a team.
Mark, Phil, and I were all tied. Potentially could have made the playoffs. I'd have to go in and see if Mark and Phil won last week. So if we all had the same record, but I would say the top three are all very, very close. What did someone say there?
Creed wants to know where to get some more of that silver coin tequila. That's an Albuquerque, baby. I haven't seen it anywhere else but Albuquerque. I mean, it's Mexican, but I haven't seen it imported anywhere else but Albuquerque. The thing about Iowa, for everyone who lives in Iowa, is we have really all the liquor stores in Iowa have to go through the state liquor department to get their booze. And so they're not state-run liquor stores like some places, but they practically are because they don't. Basically, the state orders all the bottles of stuff that gets sent to the liquor stores. And as a result, a lot of like reps for certain brands of spirits won't even come to Iowa because Iowa doesn't pay the company until the liquor gets transferred to the store. So if it's sitting in the state's like storage area for a while, the company hasn't gotten paid yet. And so especially a lot of smaller like craft or just smaller distilleries and stuff, they won't deal with that because it's not really cost effective. So,
and that's unusual for states to do it like that.
Yeah, most states, liquor stores on their own, they can get whatever liquor they want, assuming that it, passes federal standards and stuff.
Really? They don't even have like, I mean, when I was living in Kansas, liquor stores would close on Sundays and they would have 3-2 beer.
Some places are a little bit, but there's a lot of like,
Right.
if you ever been to a Total Wine and Spirits, it's like a nationwide, like a big box liquor store. They don't have them in places like this because of our laws. But
Nick says John's been sending me booze to ship to him for years.
yeah, I used to get these whiskey advent calendars from spirit.co that are fantastic, but they don't ship to the state for those reasons because
They don't ship to Iowa.
a lot of them don't because technically they're supposed to go through the state.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay.
It's been loosening up a little bit during the pandemic because people weren't going out and buying booze. So the state's laws have been loosening a little bit, but it's still, if you ever go to a liquor store in Iowa and you say, can you order this? They will tell you like, we can ask the state to order it, but and they might get a yes and they might not.
I didn't know that. So we are at an hour 7. We can kind of land this plane with the best of the rest.
Yeah, sorry, you
to
keep trying to get to the best of the rest.
No, it's fine. If anyone else wants to jump in here with comments, questions, whatever, I'd love to hear from Alex if he's still watching. We got 6 devices still. But I want to hear what you think about who's moving on past the first round, and then who's winning it all. Who gets the bottle?
I think you got a good shot. I don't, Phil Brooks is another one of those guys that sold off and then had a stronger finish than I was expecting,
Am I the only one who bought hard, who made the best of the rest?
Yeah. Well, did
That's
Mark
sad.
buy? I feel like Mark might have bought, or he might have traded for somebody.
I can't remember. Nick, can you text in and let us know?
Again, Mark's a team where like I mean I couldn't tell you his team name. I couldn't tell you who his any.
It's crappier than
Oh
you.
yes,
He got Jalen Cropper or whatever his name is, Hayner's wide receiver. I mean, my team just has been hurt by injuries so much. I don't know if I trust any of them. Mark sold, someone said. So I'm the only one who bought and made the best of the rest, which is fun.
So if that was your goal, then you did a good job.
Alex says, or Nick has a good point. He says, are we saying Alex was a buyer for trading first round for the QB? Yeah, that's probably a fair thing. BK's in the Zoom. We're gonna let him in.
Oh yeah, he said he had more questions.
Hey, BK.
How's it going? Gonna label this weekend for me 12 hours of hell. And I don't know if it's 12 hours of hell for me, or it could be my opponents. You know, if I score 120 and I knock you out of the playoffs, especially you, Eric, that's just 12 hours of hell of looking at that screen. It's me. It's 12 hours of hell of having to look at the screen one more time for the shit ass team that I have. I don't even know who my quarterback is. I really don't.
Who, your quarterback or my quarterback?
Mine. I don't know. I don't even know who he is. Connor Bazelak was my quarterback last week, and then at like game was at 2:30. At like 1 o'clock, it was like, oh, he's actually like in a cast, not going to play today. So I just went free agency shopping. Still have the same guy. So, anyways, 12 hours of hell for whoever the fuck I'm playing this week. It's all 5 of you fuckers.
Okay, so I want to ask you, who are the ones that move on from the best of the rest?
Oh boy.
Because it's not about just beating me.
Yeah, yeah. So it's interesting, right? Because you have Mark, yourself, and Phil Brooks, who seem like a shoo-in, but then you have Pat, myself, and Alex, and we're all bad teams. So one of us, of these 3 bad teams, just by math alone, is going to be 1 game away from possibly winning the bottle, which is just a fantastic way to end the season. But we could even do it, you know, Alex, myself, Dylan Gabriel. Maybe Alex will start him this week. You know, never know. Maybe he'll choose to do that. And then all of a sudden, you know, you knock down Mark, and then 2 of this cohort's bad. It is 1 game away. To your answer, it's probably gonna be Phil Brooks or yourself or Mark that wins the bottle. But
You think
But it's
Phil
best
Brooks
for
has
the
a
rest.
shot, huh?
what do you say?
Well, if you're that worried about these 12 hours in hell, I recommend the more traditional Martini this weekend, buddy. A
Yeah.
little harder hitting.
So wait, your picks for the 4 to move on are who?
Oh man. Okay. So I think it's gonna be the top 3. I think those the 3 were all fringe playoff teams, as we covered.
Yeah.
And I think we'll do Alex. I think it's gonna be the hero's journey. I think he's gonna. Who does Oklahoma play this week?
I don't know.
Oh, Baylor, I think.
That was last week.
Or West Virginia. No, West Virginia.
West Virginia. Oh, he's gonna put up 50 points. Dylan Gabriel on his own.
Pretty sure it's
And-
West Virginia.
I don't know. I'm not
You know
paying
what?
attention
I've
there.
talked myself into the Alex. He's gonna hold it. He's gonna hold his own, and he's gonna defend the championship this year. That's my hot take.
Wow.
Okay. Well, we've got Nick in the waiting room, so we're gonna join him. All right, Nick, you're back.
Welcome. The end of the new.
Your audio is still connecting, so just wait a second. Can't hear you yet. Sorry, I didn't know if I didn't know that removing you would not
Can
let
you
you
hear
come
me?
back.
Can you hear me now?
Yeah.
All right. I just, while BK was talking about the 12 hours of hell, I don't know how many people were paying attention to the Lynn Street brawl, but it was the worst. It's the worst experience I've ever had watching an Iowa game, because Pat picked up the freshman running back who went for 200 yards and a touchdown and put up like 20 some points against me at the same time that Ohio State's quarterback was throwing in a 80-mile-an-hour blizzard. And I didn't take the lead until 2 minutes left in the final game of the Mountain West. It was 1:55 a.m. So that was truly a 12 hours of hell. So
Yeah. Yeah, that was I was keeping a little bit of an eye on that, especially with you guys in the G chat. So congrats. Congrats. Yeah. I was gonna say like that's one of the most ugly trophies I've ever seen. That you get the privilege of exchanging. But yeah, that was fun. I wish Pat would join us and kind of get both of you in here to chirp at each other, but I don't see him joining us. Is it his parents are still in town or something?
Get his opinion on what happened, because similar to the week before, I beat Casey in the Mountain West game. So Pat and Casey went to bed with a lead that seemed insurmountable, and somehow I had late touchdowns. I got lucky as hell to beat both of them, but
Mountain West is kind of fun in that it's so late and you can get those things. Like you can get those 1 a.m. come from behind victories, but SEC, you're not going to get that. So that's
true.
For the bad players, you get this exchange for the late night, pull one out of your.
I suppose the one benefit of having a lousy conference, your third conference, is you finally care about the Hawaii games and shit that you just normally are like, I don't care at all. So
yeah. So Nick, do you have a pick for the winner of the best of the rest?
absolutely. I'm going to go Phil Brooks, because Phil's just the nicest guy, and fucking Brooks just rides the coattails. Speaking of, when John picked Phil to fuck, it's Phil Brooks. So he's in the corner watching you, So.
all right. Hey, you know what? I like the pick even more.
Anyone else out there that hasn't joined us that would like to join us? Now would be the time.
Yeah. Last
We're
call.
we're an hour and 10, hour and 16, whatever that is, into this. Nick, thanks for joining us. Do you want to add anything else? Oh, he's already left.
Good.
Um,
He went out in a good laugh. That's a smart move.
okay, so did you pick your pick for the best of the rest? Because I have not yet.
I haven't either. I don't think I did. I might have said you. I'm sticking with either you or, you know what? I'm just gonna go completely like blind here and say maybe Mark, even though it's chalk since he is the top seed. I don't know anything about his team. I don't know how he's top seed in the best of the rest or anywhere.
If I don't win best of the rest, again, I've already said that my trade might go down as the worst trade in Liquid Up history. And that includes the Creed Mark one. But if I don't win best of the rest, it just adds on to that. I mean, my team on paper is very, very strong.
That's true.
It just cannot
It just
perform.
didn't work out.
I mean, with Jackson Smith and Jigba has not played
Yeah.
yet.
I don't think he's
He's
going
got
to.
he's
It's
got
too
like
late in the
4
season, right? Like
yeah,
he's
I mean,
done.
at this point, if they said he was going to start this weekend, I wouldn't want to. We just got G chat. You want to check that? I wouldn't want to start him because I wouldn't trust him.
Just
and
Nick's
so-
calling out Pat.
What's he calling out Pat and saying?
He's just saying, give people what they want. Come on, Pat.
Well, he did say that we've got
He's got
7
stuff
people in
going
there.
on.
He may not even be in here. I know Phil Brooks is not it, or
One of
Phil
them-
Phil
one of them.
said he's not able to make it. So we're going to post this on the podcast feed so that people can listen to it. We're not going to go audio podcast. I don't even know how you do that. I know you can
Video,
do
you
that,
mean?
or video podcast. I know you can do it on Spotify,
I
but
don't know anything about
that's
it.
probably for the really good podcasts
They,
that
like make
that
money
means-
and stuff.
Yeah, like I know they've got a couple on there, some video ones. Not us. Maybe I can request that. Peter is typing right now.
Oh,
Okay.
God.
Let's see what the comments in Twitch that I told no one to put in there.
Yeah, there's some fun ones in there.
Somebody
said you suck.
Muscatine Mitch, whoever Muscatine Mitch is, said I suck. BK says similar for Creed. He took the lead around 9 p.m. Muscatine Mitch says somehow. BK says those who write the history control the history.
He already said that
Mitch
one.
and Kev. Yeah, we're okay. Well, this has been fun, guys.
I enjoyed it.
We should do this again sometime.
I didn't see any other martinis out there. I'm very curious. I know Nick had a good idea about compiling a little liquor list at the beginning of the year so people can join me more readily, more easily.
Mhm.
I'm going to do that next year.
I think
but
that's a good idea. Des Moines Dave says, Eric, read this. You're welcome.
yeah, done.
Okay. Yeah, I think we should do this again.
I loved it.
I think this is a great idea.
a
I'm not
blast.
going to pick myself to win the best of the rest, but I am going to
It's a little
say
uncouth.
I am going to say if I don't, it's extremely embarrassing. It's already embarrassing that I'm in best of the rest based on my
And you're not
trading
even, and
habits.
You're not even the first seed in the best.
I'm not. I'm not.
I mean, it doesn't
I'm-
matter once the battle royale starts.
Yeah,
but
I'm gonna pick. Okay, so I think the teams that move on are, I think BK. I think it was BK who said the top three: Mark, Phil Brooks, and me.
I mean, he's
Um,
right. Those three are probably going to, and then it's a toss up between three really bad teams.
I'm gonna pick. I'm gonna pick Pat because I know a lot of my team that was bad. I traded to BK. I'm gonna pick Pat. I'm gonna say the top four teams move on. And then I'll pick Phil Brooks as the champion of the best of the rest. With that, okay, we get one more comment. Okay, we're not going to read that. That's mean. That's mean, guys. That's it's something about John shaving his ugly face. It's not ugly. It's
Trying
not
to
ugly,
hide
guys.
my big dumb ugly face.
Okay, I think that's all for tonight. We went an hour and 20 minutes. John made a fantastic martini. We finished off a really great bottle of Balvenie. I feel like I'm trying to advertise.
I was gonna say this is like
I'm gonna say whoever wins the championship, do not pick this. Whoever wins a division, do not pick this. Leave this to the best of the rest winner.
which will hopefully be you.
Because it's a terrible bottle of whiskey of scotch. And that's all we got for tonight. Thank you for joining us. All 6 of you that made it through. We had up to 8 at one point.
Impressive.
We're gonna post this. We'll try to post this on John's YouTube channel. I think, if we can,
We'll
if we can
figure it
figure it out. We're gonna post this on the Liquored Up podcast feed if we can figure that out. Oh, there's one more question from BK. What is it, BK?
Is that from BK?
Yep, Kia Cut Kev is BK.
Oh boy.
What's the question, BK? We're gonna give you
Maybe he's just
a little bit.
might just be screwing with us.
This was fun though. I'm glad we figured it out. Well, BK is not jumping in with a question.
Oh well.
He sends a picture of a winky face emoji, which
screwing with
means
us. Yep.
he's done. Okay, we're done, guys.
We're not playing.
Good
your
to see you.
games.
Good to see some of you. Adios, amigos.
Bye.